How to use my favorites. I have created a data grid from one of the existing grids that is a very condensed form and has the grid sorted in the way that I want to see my information. In this case, I have a grid that only has 8 columns out of many, and I also have it sorted by the employee name. I'd like to reuse this grid, and this is where my favorites comes into play. Once I've created the grid in the look that I want it to appear, I click on My Favorites and I tell it New. I have a new view that I want to keep. I'm going to call this view the 8-column list that is of duration value, but it's also of value for payroll because this is the list that I want to send to payroll. That is my title, and then I give it a brief description that will give me enough information later to know what this report is all about. Once I enter the description, I click on my update link, and now I have 2 lists in my favorites report list. I have the original one, which is all columns, no groups, no filters, and that's my default. And I also have my new one that I just created. If I want to go back to my original, I highlight that one and click Apply Page Layout. If I look at this list, now I have many columns in this report. If I go back to my favorites and I highlight the one I just created, apply this page layout, now I'm seeing the report with just the information that I choose to create and provide. Also with my favorites, I can go back and change so that I am seeing a default report the way that I most commonly use the information. So therefore, if I want to make my new report the default, I would click on Edit. I would click on the default check mark. Click on Update, and now notice that my new report is the default. So if I now go into my detail report, time and attendance, I am going to see my 8-column list for payroll. That's my default. I can go back to the other one, but my default one is the new report that I created.